decide, because your vast legal argument and your knowledge of all things constitutional and to the laws of the land far exceeds any of the Supreme Court justices that exist on either side of the aisle in the Supreme Court. You feel that it's a fear to actually go through. But in actuality, you're just a propagandist, and you don't really know exactly what goes on in regards to this. Prosecution has to actually bring forth a case, not just an assumption of guilt. They have to do this because every person is considered innocent until proven guilty, except in the rhetoric of the left nowadays, where it seems that we're okay with just basically hanging somebody and then figuring out the crime later. But you can go along with that approach and see how well it fares.
Okay, so first of all, I started off with journalism and political science. At the end, I did also study pre-med and law. Okay, so when you put me like sort of, oh, I'm just a sort of nobody, okay, I mean, sorry, mom's also a German diplomat, currently in Moscow, 5 years over there. So I hear things, you know what I mean? I'm not stupid or anything like that. I mean,
I think I need to explain for you.
I was living in DC for 5.5 years. No, Brad, no. I'm just responding.
So you say you're a German. Hold on.
No.
Marshall, hold on.
What he said. You are
so you say
a
you're
Republican, Brad. Okay, you are defending the
You're
Trump
a German
monster.
diplomat.
Okay.
And then you tell me how America
it's my
works.
turn. No, you had your chance. You fired your shots, and I'm firing back at you.
Okay. So you're a German diplomat. I just want to know the groundwork in which I'm fighting.
American, okay. So
you're an American citizen, or you just told me you were a German correspondent that's over in Germany?
German citizenship as well as American citizenship. This is beyond the point. What you said about me is a lie, and I'm calling you out. I'm saying you're a Republican who's defending the Donald Trump monster. This is what you're doing, okay? Because you said apparently I have no clue.
Here's where you're going to go astray. I'm not a Republican.
Cases that are currently being dropped, the charges against him by the judges that he put in power there, okay?
So first off, I'm going to mute you up.
No, that's fine, Brad, but you're a piece of shit. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, okay. You fucking German kraut bastard should be fucking hung on the street. I literally wish Israel would just nuke your fucking country too. There's nothing good that comes out of Germany. Your beer fucking sucks. So at the end of the day, we can sit down there and say this. First, I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative. There's a vast difference. I know your intellect can't grasp that concept, and I appreciate that distinction. But because you're kraut fucking Steinmark, whatever fucking bullshit you have, and you goose stepping across the fucking things, you make a lot of fucking projections. First, Donald Trump doesn't control the fucking courts. It is a co-equal branch of our U.S. government. He has actually no power, sway, or influence over it. And it's really funny you don't recognize this, because actually the Democrat Party, the party you cape for, that you basically bend over and touch your toes for, wants to sit there and have power over the, quote, judicial system, because as they advocate for, just let's stack the court, we'll just make it 15 people, and we'll just throw our party members in there. Or, better yet, you have Democrats in Congress advocating that they're going to set standards and policies in the Supreme Court, which is supposed to be a co-equal branch of government, a check and balance, if you will, and yet those same twat waffles can't even do it yourself. This is why you're retarded. This is why you German fucking wannabe Nazis that, oh, we didn't really fucking murder whole bunches of people. We didn't create 2 massive world wars. And you should never be allowed to have a discussion on anything political ever again in your future. Ever. Germany should not exist as a country. It's one nation that I think the rest of the world can agree should have been broken up, divided, and destroyed. Like, we should just basically let Russia, what Russia originally had plans for was to wipe you out. We should have let that go through. I'm kind of okay with that one. I'm kind of glad most of you German citizens are actually Russian and not German anymore, because we know those Russians raped the shit out of your grandmothers. So there you go.
So are you a new fascist, or what? What type of right are you?
Not the crazy kind. So, but I think there is something important to explain. Yes, they're conservatives. Yes, they were appointed by Trump. But Gorsuch is a textualist. which is different from an original. If the textualist looks at what the text actually says, of course he sided with Elena Kagan and Sotomayor at least a third of the time since his appointment to the bench. One big one was over transgender rights, whether they qualified under sexual discrimination.
You know, Brad, I think you were a little harsh on him. You have to remember that Germany now, because it's not getting Russian oil, it's going to be getting oil from Azerbaijan, the US, and other sources. They really are suffering through an energy crisis. And not only that, their push for green energy has failed. So they're going to be turning into a third world country very soon. So yeah, I mean, that was just, I don't know, that was just really mean of you. You're such a mean.
Guys, how do you get these weird ideas about Germany? What is wrong with you?
Wait a minute. What weird idea is that the fact
Hold on,
that
Brad.
you guys
There's
don't
there's
destroy
always
things?
a big problem here, and it's not you, Nico. I need to translate Navy to you. Navy means they don't have a lot of patience for shit, and it means they go over the top. So as a Navy man, the Navy man way of acting doesn't always translate, but he's a good dude, and I genuinely don't think he has anything against German people. He may think, some of the stuff that history was involved in is a little weird, but you have to be able to read Navy, and that's harsher, a little mean.
I don't care. I mean, thank him for his service, but there's no way you can talk like this about people generations after things occurred. Germany has turned itself into a very modern, very democratic, freedom-loving country that is discussing topics really thoroughly. I don't understand that you can have this attitude and think that you can judge the world like this. Really.
So wait a minute. You're telling me that I should just say, you know what, after 2 world wars caused by a Germany that tends to fucking flip-flop on its leadership and its direction and its political ideology as outlined in its history, and it's currently ongoing, you're telling me that I need to sit there and be more nice to a nation that was responsible for, I don't know, the genocide and the extinction of whole swaths of peoples, cultures, and civilizations, and that somehow I just need to be forgiving because,
I think you're talking bullshit. I
really
think you're talking bullshit.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. And there's no way.
So Germany never did this?
Hold on.
Germany never did it? You don't have fucking problems today. You don't have they're still finding what? I think they're still finding Nazis, right? I think Mossad is still capturing Nazis, right? Right.
Guy, be real, please.
Really?
Yeah,
A
be
whole
real.
A whole nation that
if you-
stood silent
if you-
as they knew what was happening and they were afraid to act.
Hold
think
on.
that's
Are you in favor of reparations?
for black people or for Jewish people or from Germany?
Afro-American people.
Yeah, actually I am.
Oh, good, because that is at least in consequence with what you say about
I was
Germany.
just asking you about Germany. Germany has nothing to do with what the U.S. policies. We could talk about the horrific aspects of American history all day long. I'm all for it. America's done some atrocious things, but just to sit there and turn around and tell me.
All right,
Germany's a
but do
great
you
nation?
want me to judge you on mistakes that have been made in the
Mistakes?
past by the United States?
Mistakes?
For instance,
So first off, I don't allow the U.S. to say it was mistakes for genociding Native Americans or doing any of the fucking twat waffle shit that they did. I sure as hell am not going to let Germans or people who recognize the motherland of Deutschland to sit there and say it's just a mistake.
Okay, and
no, you fuckers did that willingly.
Let's
You
proceed
did it
into
willingly.
history.
And then you had France involved in it, which those guys got off scot-free. So, like, yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in your whole morality that exists in Europe because you guys bend and fold up like a hooker on a Saturday night. You guys are just there to be used, and whoever's the strongest is what you guys give to.
Please don't generalize.
Europe,
like
Europeans,
that.
Germans,
Europeans, Europeans in general are one people for you. Look, if you simplify the world like this, I wish you a lot of luck, but you won't get anywhere to the cause of things. You will not understand anything about the world like this. Only
Really? I've been around the world.
power.
I think, honestly, that's all you guys cave to. You cave to brutal power. You were gonna. You honestly, without the U.S. standing there, you would cave to Russia. You Germans, you would fucking drop to your knees and lick the ball sack of Putin and say how great and wonderful he is. Everybody in the world knows this. Like you guys act like some fucking philosophical, we only want world peace. No, I do generalize because that's your nation has a direct history of doing
like
it.
this.
Don't tell me what I can and can't do. You live under the auspices that I decided that you can be free. Literally, the American military decides how much freedom you actually get. How do you like them apples? We're your empire. We're your daddy. Bend over and take it because guess what? Daddy's going to tell you what to do, and America does it all the fucking time. Really? How great is Germany doing right now? How great? Isn't it the U.S. Sending its supply of munitions? Isn't it sending its aid? Isn't it sending its fuel? Isn't it helping you out of an energy crisis? I believe so. Thank you. You're welcome, Junior. Now go back into your corner and cry your sauerkraut. I don't fucking care.
No, sorry. I don't care how rude you phrase your things. You are generalizing way too much. It doesn't help. It helps nothing except for you thinking that you're right. But that's the only thing it helps.
Hello, this is Ekute.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, écoutez.
Merci, bonjour à tous.
Hey, Abdul, what do you think of the title?
Hey everybody, Marshall, Brad, Andrew, Alan. Don't make much of it. I just came in here to say hi to everybody. I think the empire is the globalist empire. So America should be free of the Europeans.
We can drop them in the oceans. There are pawns. If we sneeze, they get the flu. If we decide they can exist, we allow them to.
No matter who wins, no matter who wins, it will be a strong military.
Yeah. I mean, when has Germany really? What has Germany really contributed to anything significant? I've worked with their military. They're okay. They're nothing really special. They're not substantial.
I was under the
want them to
impression,
be.
Brad, that America provided a lot of their lift capacity, in particular for the super galaxies, in terms of like transporting machinery and.
Yeah, that's why we have a huge military base over there to make sure that A, Germany doesn't do anything fucking retarded because they have a history of being retarded, and secondly, that we can ensure their protection so that they know that they exist under the very blanketed freedoms. Like everyone in Germany, you may think you're under the German government or the chancellor, you're actually under the United States. We determine how much your economic policies are going to be there. We can break you within a day. We can sabotage you. We could do a whole lot of things that you just couldn't recover from. We could turn you into Ukraine immediately, and you wouldn't have the ability to withstand it. That's how fucking much power the U.S. has.
Yeah, and then
Well,
you
Germany
let
and Japan
yourself
are
be
really
ruled.
like the only. the only good examples we have of what nation building post like an awful war brings out, right? Like the reconstruction of Germany and the Autobahn and stuff like that, heavily United States, British funded in that way. As I understand it in the EU, Germany makes all the money and then France wants to spend it all. At least that's kind of how I understand it. And so the Germans get irritated with the French because the French want to spend all the money the Germans make.
You guys need a few lectures on Europe before you
For
start
what?
discussing
For
this.
what purpose would it bring? Like, we had to create a EU and back it to prevent you idiots from fighting each other. So there you go.
I
We had to put you
don't
under.
need to lecture on Europe. If you want to talk about Europe and Germany, I'm happy to do that. But I don't need a lecture from you any more than you need a lecture from me.
Well, you lack information. If you
Like
if you
what
only-
information? Everything we said is true. Like, again, we created the EU and backed the support of the EU to prevent you idiots from fighting. We allowed you to centralize the currency under the euro so that, again, you wouldn't have competition and misalignment, and that trade would facilitate a little bit better between you because you guys couldn't actually effectively work out trade deals that would actually benefit both parties or have that. So you had to be scolded like children and taught how to share. And so, again, the U.S. had to come in. We had to create NATO to protect you from other nations because you couldn't work cohesively together or create an actual armada or do anything that could actually protect yourselves. So, again, the U.S. had to come in and save your ass and actually do this. So please tell me, what lessons do I need to learn from Europe other than how to fail to be an empire or how to fucking decimate and kill people en masse?
Well, first of all, you could take the step that you oversee the 80 years afterwards and that you see what has developed instead of thinking about what your great-grandfather did and how he...
Actually, it was my grandfather. I'm older than you think.
Well, your grandfather, that's okay. Listen, I really think that you should give a bit more value to your loyal partners in Europe that have been with you for all that time and have been loyal trading partners, intellectual partners, and defense partners as well. When America found it necessary after 9/11 to take up arms, we were with you. We were with you on 9/11 itself. As Europeans, we helped you immediately with AWACS and I don't know what. We went with you into Afghanistan. We even were lured into Iraq. And we did it to help you guys. So please, don't only see your historic right of before 1945. Think a bit more advanced, please.
So, again, the U.S. didn't need your small contribution. England would probably be the closest one that could go through, and you guys would have lost to France.
Brett, keep...
Hey, I let you finish. You should
no,
shut
you
up.
Don't.
Here,
come
let
on,
me do what
please.
you did to Jewish people. You shut them up. So, again, I'm going to speak. I've lost all patience for this, fucking European...
That's a little too much.
No, it's not a little too much. It actually is spot
Nico
on
didn't do
because,
anything
again,
to Jewish people.
I don't give a fuck. His nation did. So did France, for that fucking matter.
Brett, will you please
So, again,
stop?
No, I can
so-
help you. I can help you be this fucking Krautheimer. You should just sit down there. I don't really give a fuck about whatever European nation existentialism you have to offer me in some philosophical bent about morality, because your nations have actually done far more horrific shit than the U.S. has actually done in comparison. But you guys like to say that we didn't really do this and you want to gloss over all this stuff and then you point to America bad. You're right. America's done a lot of fucking horrific shit. But you guys like to propel that shit globally and do it. You were an empire under Britain. It fucking did its thing. It still hasn't released countries under its belt. It still hasn't returned the resources or the rights or the business opportunities to those nations, but you haven't done that. Germany lost everything and should have. Germany should have been broken up and divided into part and parcels to other nations and never allowed to be created again. And the German people should have been scattered to the wind for their ignorance and their fucking compliance with a nation that allowed that kind of shit to go on and continue to go on, not once but twice. So now you want to sit there and give morality advice to the United States or people around the world when you actually exist under the economic freedoms that we provide you, the trade opportunities that we provide you, and the energy provisions that we give you and allow you. And you're going to sit there and cozy up to Russia prior to this because you had Merkel sit there and say Trump was a moron about a pipeline from existing from Russia. And you guys said, oh no, Trump's a fucking idiot and he's a fascist and all this stuff. And you were cozying right up along with Russia. And when that shit broke apart on you, he was right, you were wrong. And once again, the United States had to come bail your asses out. And we continue to do so for Europe for a long time. This is one of the bitches of Trump, is that we keep fucking spending money, protecting your asses, guaranteeing your shipping routes, making sure you have trade, making sure you are free from aggression from any other nation like Russia or China. And then you don't fucking actually contribute fuck all that is in any significant portion until recently. And even then, it's a moderate increase. The only reason you're helping Ukraine is because the United States is actually forcing you to do so. And it is sitting there taking the helm, making sure you're contributing. And because you're actually fearful, because you're too weak to actually defend against yourself. So you need to ensure that the U.S. is willing to support and that you need to actually have that battle continue in Ukraine, because if it comes to German shores, you guys aren't going to be able to stay. Not without a U.S. support, or definitely not without France or even fucking Poland. And you don't even have that kind of support. The only nation I won't make fun of is Poland, because they've actually pulled themselves up by the bootstraps after getting raped over by every European country and Russia multiple times throughout their history. And they've done it on their own. Finland too. Sweden's kind of gotten lucky, but that's just because of their territory.
Well, it's quite clear that you have a complete out-of-hand stream of conscience that has many misconceptions about history. I'm very sorry. I agree that on the whole, we are protected by the United States. I also think that it's a fact that there's no country on earth that is profiting more of that than the United States itself. So don't think that it's only in the interest of us. It's in your own self-interest. And it's in the interest of liberty in itself that the United States...
Just because you speak slowly like Gandalf doesn't make it so, man. I don't know where you get off giving the advice. What have you done to give the advice?
What have I done to give what advice? I'm sorry. I'm just
to advise a country on the. You seem to be very sure.
Country. I advise Mr. Brett.
You seem to be very sure of your position, but it's
yes.
like talking to Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, and you're just speaking as if you're in a movie or something, man. What are you suggesting? What's your action plan? What should America do? What should Americans do?
I think America should be loyal to its partners and help promote democracy in the world, because that's the best system there is so far to rule, to make the rules for our everyday lives. I think that's as clear as possible, and that means that we are opposed Russia and that we are opposed China, for instance, because of their systems of government, and we don't want to have that here. And we want as many people as possible to experience the liberty and the freedom and means of exploiting their own possibilities.
What's wrong with what China's doing?
What's wrong with what China is doing? That it lacks individual freedom.
They have a lot of individual freedom. I've been to China.
Yeah, I've been there too. I know. I've seen very modern cities where there's a lot of capitalism, and people are exploiting all kinds of possibilities. I know about that. I also know about situations in other parts of China that are completely different. So, as far as I can see, the liberty in China is very much limited, and it should be more widespread, I think, for these people. Not that I want to mingle in China. That's another topic.
So what are the major limiting factors of freedom? Let's say compared to its neighbors like India, or you could even take Japan or Korea or wherever. What is so restrictive about life in China?
Look, I don't want to judge too much the Asian countries, but if you would compare it to Korea, South Korea, or Japan, or Indonesia, for that matter, I think there's there are more possibilities for people to change their governments once they want that. And I think that's essential.
How much does it really impact the average person to change their government?
It depends on the type of person and the type of life you lead. As soon as you're an opinionated person, it can be a big, big difference.
I think it's all overblown, and I think you asking, and a lot of Americans do it too, but people who religiously buy into this idea that democracy trademark is like this like religious value that we have to uphold, and to the point that we have to back it up with trillions of dollars a year in military, in provoking conflict and war throughout the world, and all in the name of when the individual countries that claim to have democracy, you look at the details, it's pretty messy, it's pretty ugly. Kamala Harris is about to be potentially even become the president, and up until now, like, there hasn't been a single vote cast to like put her up, to nominate her for that position. She's just been appointed by elite powers. I mean, it's way less transparent and in fewer hands than even like the CCP, appoints people.
But the voting in the election itself is.
But Donald Trump is the bad one, right?
Yeah, he's evil. He's an existential threat to democracy.
Yeah, they figured that one out since he's actually propelled and actually stabilized. He brought democracy to the Middle East through the Abraham Accords. He actually stopped a lot of issues that were going on there, but he won't get credit for that. His foreign policy was better than I'd say anybody since fucking Clinton.
Well, we have
That
a
was
German on the
Bush's.
stage, but he's worse than Hitler.
He's worse than Hitler.
Which democracy did he bring to the Middle East by the Abraham Accords? Did I miss something? Where?
And he continued to enshrine democracy in Israel if you wanted to go underneath. I think it's just a trope when you sit there and say democracy, because we really don't bring democracy to the world. That's whatever. It's a fake.
Stimulate.
No, it doesn't.
Democracy.
Because you guys don't. No, you
have
don't.
alliances
You don't have
with
it.
democracies.
Who's a democracy in England, or who's a democracy in Europe?
Who's a
You guys don't
democracy
allow
in Europe?
You don't even allow a full fucking democracy in Germany. You don't. You come on, what? You don't have full free democracy over there. You actually infringe on people's rights if they don't support your ideology. Like, we have to tolerate the fucking KKK doing stupid fucking marches down the street when we would much rather just shoot these guys in the head. You guys don't allow freedom of speech. You don't allow freedom of
thought
opposition.
crime in Germany.
Yeah. You guys just lowered the age of guys that are allowed to prey and traffic in human child pornography. You lowered the sentencing requirements to make it a misdemeanor for those of you that don't know, which means they serve less than a year in prison. So you guys are comfortable with that shit.
Brett, stop the you guys, please. Please.
No, I don't contort to what you fucking want. I would literally like to sit there and see you actually acquiesce to this part. And I'm sick and tired of you Europeans, particularly from Scandinavian, Germanic areas, sitting there telling every American how they need to be in that morality, when in fact you guys are fucking nothing more than pedo fucking wannabe child sex traffickers who are fucking warmonger, and you just don't want to get your hands dirty. That's basically what you want to do.
You are not a MAGA moron saying this.
Well, sorry. He might be, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, well, but the whole that entire series of random accusations. I'm so sorry. I can't have it. We wrote your fucking constitution here.
You didn't write shit. So first off, you didn't do shit over here. Secondly, so you're telling me that you did not lower the sentence requirements or the criminal classification codes of sex traffickers for children?
No.
You're telling me that in Germany didn't do that?
I don't
yes,
know.
They did.
I don't know about Germany.
Oh, okay.
You pick on such a detail. I know that we in Europe are very much anti anything that has to do with pedophilia and are trying our best. Yeah.
You guys, really? So do you not agree that sex trafficking in Europe right now is probably the highest it is as any other workplace in the world? Don't you guys love doing that, especially Ukrainian women and Russian women living in those areas?
We have specialized services that do the nasty work of going into the details of that kind of filthiness. I don't have pleasure into doing that. So if you want to do, go ahead, but I keep it out of my life. I pay for the government to have specialists.
So you just vote for politicians who lower the penalty for the laws. I got it. Thank you.
I didn't say that, and the law on that has not changed in my country. I know that for you, Europe is one continent with one rule of law, and that is as if to say that you are the most radical supporter of Kamala. Because I know a radical supporter of Kamala, so you must be, because you're an American. And I know one.
Wait a minute, you say I support Kamala?
No, I say that if I generalize Americans like you do.
So you're saying that I'm a supporter of Kamala?
Wait.
Wow,
Brett,
that's
let me just chime in. As an American who started studying German in middle school just because of the International Baccalaureate program, I often, I realized since basically 2006 when I started studying, because I was in middle school then, that Germany is a very different country than, a lot of people think. And if you want, I suggest there's this TV show called Babylon Berlin. It is in German, so I watch it mostly to improve my German. But it basically shows a lot of history of this, very troublesome time in the World War II history. They show it from like 1928, and very slowly, it's basically a Krimi, which in German means like, criminology, crime. They show it from the perspective of the Berlin Police Department. They show that they had it was a mess. It's not a simple question of, a lot of it had to do with very basic things like technology. Like we could not monitor people in the way that we can now. It is a very complex question you can't really generalize it because they work very hard to ensure that you specifically do not get this impression of them.
So you're saying it's a marketing campaign?
I mean, that would be very cynical of you because what would they be marketing against? They were trying to show
because they were worried about the optics of themselves, right? So it would.
I should say the Trump campaign. That's what I mean to say. The Trump campaign to help further him. You're allowed to do that. You can do that. But since we're on that subject, all right, What about the Kamala campaign? Hitting up a lot of what you call it, social media influencers and buying their votes and buying their voice. In case you didn't know that, because they were already exposed for that recently. But yeah, but I don't like to point.
Well, I'm curious. Like, I get the RFK endorsed Trump, but like, Trump's been busted with his charity buying like self portraits and fancy footballs, and that's why they got kicked out of their own charity. And then his campaign's been paying his own hotels and stuff like that. And it's been reported that like he's been scamming everybody. I get how people can support RFK, but I don't get how RFK people now can support Trump. Like, I don't understand it. I'm curious how y'all. I can't square that. It seems too.
Oh, it's very simple. Okay, the Democrat Party are actually going after RFK Jr., including his own family when he was running. He was also silenced a lot by the Dems. And they used their strong arm to muscle him, and they kept doing it throughout his campaign run. So, I mean, we can talk about that if you want. So it makes total sense for him to actually go and endorse the Trump campaign instead of the sycophantic Democrats, because even that party was doing what they were doing to him. So, I mean, we can talk about that if you want. How they did that, and now, and then his own family had the audacity. Kathleen Kennedy Townsend had the audacity to make a public statement in writing saying that they're highly disappointed in him. Oh, but weren't you Democrats actually, attempting to foil his campaign? Weren't you Democrats actually doing everything in your power, working hard to actually silence the man and prevent him from actually leading in the polls, prevent him from actually advancing in the polls? Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why he's going to the other team. Maybe that's why he's endorsing Trump, because you people, as in the Democrats, are a bunch of sycophantic, maniacal, manipulative twat waffles, and that's why he's doing that. So for his own family to come out with that statement that they're highly disappointed in him, fuck off with that bullshit. But you don't want to talk about that, do you? Isn't it true that...
I appreciate it. You gave me a lot of breath. What's that? That's what he said, twat waffles. Who said twat waffles? Danny just said twat waffles. I called it twat waffles. Yeah.
Listen, how do people voting for Kamala rationalize what Kennedy says, which is end the forever wars?
The RFK's campaign actually say that they reached out to Kamala's campaign if he could join on to their campaign and get a cabinet appointed position before calling Trump. And he used to
Misinformation, fake news.
You're in the matrix. You're in the matrix. You're in the matrix. Leave and come back. Leave and come back. We can't hear you, Bren. Yo, what's up, Arthur? That guy's a fucking jerk off, right?
He's a psychologist and a therapist. Breyer does healing work. He is the light of the sun.
Like, I was saying earlier, like, RFK's campaign said that they reached out to Harris and tried to get an appointment first. And she said no. And then, or they didn't even call her back. And then they reached out to Trump. So it doesn't seem like, I mean, RFK when he first ran.
Yeah, I heard that too, Breyer. I heard that too. Can it be proven? Can you corroborate that with actual factual evidence to support that claim? Because I know that they're saying that, but can that actually be corroborated and factualized? Do you have proof? Did any of them have proof of that?
So you don't think it's true? I'm asking, you don't think their campaign was trying to
Hell no, I don't think it's true, because the Dems are notorious for fucking lying and cheating and being quite manipulative.
Let me try to frame this. Let me try to frame this in a perspective that is digestible. So you're saying, did
RFK campaign call the White House? The answer to that is yes. They call the White House all the fucking time. I mean, bro, he set a record on how many times he called the White House to get Secret Service. I mean, it literally broke historic records on how many times they were denied Secret Service. He called the White House on censorship. Why is it that the Biden administration is, collaborating with big tech platforms to censor presidential candidates? Why is the Biden administration's White House collaborating with mainstream media outlets, collaborating in order to keep him off of the debate stage, to keep him out of the news cycle, to keep his name as far away from the everyday American as physically and psychologically possible, emotionally possible? So the answer is yeah, bro. They call the White House all the time.
I'm willing to bet that Breyer is going to use the word weird. Breyer is going to use the word weird.
The narrative that's being spun now is that, yeah, they're calling the White House to get a job. What the fuck are you talking about?
Breyer, let me hear you say the word weird.
I'm not sure where you're going, but you're in the Matrix. You're in the Matrix. Leave and come back. Leave and come back. I can't hear you.
That's weird.
Back to work. Everybody, get back to work. Stop fucking around on this app. Augustus, did you fall out of a coconut tree? Augustus, did you fall out of a coconut tree? I think you're hacking my internet from speaking right now.
That's weird.
I just want to introduce to you guys Adrian A.D. Adrian A.D. first name, last name, Adrian A.D. Welcome to the stage.
What's going on, my boy? Alright?
Yeah, I'm alright. These libs are in the Matrix.
Augustus, are you cooking yourself or are you in rain?
I'm in the rain. That's why I'm having to raise my voice. I'm not cooking in the rain, though. I'm in the car in the rain.
So does anyone know what Kennedy's 3 reasons are for joining the Trump campaign and creating a unity government?
He's unbacked. He stands against the World Economic Forum globalist agenda. He's being attacked by the Matrix. And he's anti-war.
And anti-censorship.
And he's anti-censorship. Listen, there's many reasons. You know, there's many reasons. Many men wish that by me, Lord, I don't cry. God, oh, Lord, have mercy on many. Let's go. That's why he joined this campaign, bro. What you mean? They want us dead. They just stripped us the Secret Service. If it was up to them, I would be 6 feet in the fucking ground. My wife would be 6 feet in the fucking ground. You'd be dead.
Here we go.
You'd be dead, Adrian. You'd be dead, Adrian A.D. We'd all be fucking dead if it was up to them. So what we gotta do in order to combat that? We gotta create a strategic alliance. We gotta rise up. We gotta rebel. We gotta say no. I will not comply. Any questions?
Yeah, is the U.S. government still paying the pensions and salaries of every Ukrainian in Ukraine engaged in the war? I mean, is it the 51st state of America?
This is true. This is true. I don't know, but until they stop sending all our money overseas, everybody else take care of problems here at home. I don't care who they is. I ain't voting, but I don't like it. We want to spend all our money on everybody else. Carry start at home. That's right, Arthur. I was saying that in another room earlier about the American Empire. I said it's time to bring the American Empire home. Bring it home. For the Empire business. If you want to stay in it, bring it home.
yo, here's a song for you. Wait, no. When we played in the car, the audio sucks. We played off my phone.
Reach out to the admins.
Less practical.
Wait, are you vaccinated?
Yes.
No. I run the business.
I was asking him.
Just to be clear, there's no affiliation between Abortabus and Abortabus Express.
Hey, are you vaccinated? Yes or no?
I'm vaccinated for polio.
I knew it.
There you go.
I can smell it on you.
What is polio exactly? Is that like an Olympic sport or something?
Well, you should have spoken. Now Simon knows you're here.
Oh no. David is a fascist. He likes kicking people.
Yeah, that's the fascist. Issa, what were you reading right there? Is that like a parody or for what?
Yeah, it's the Abortabus.
No, it's not serious.
Abortabus Express. It's a club we did
I
like
feel bad
months
for
ago,
America.
over a year ago, and it was Randy's. It was hold on. It was Randy's idea, and now it became true. At the DNC, they had an Abortabus at the door.
I feel bad for America because there were people in the room, the last room, who were lambasting him, and yeah, I feel bad.
You feel bad for America, a country, or
Yes, that's right. No, Keegan, of course.
David, just how much whiskey have you drank already this morning?
Yeah, a lot. Anyway, so where's Caleb? Here he is.
Right.
So Caleb, what are you gonna do when you see that the price fixing is turning the U.S. into Nicaragua and
Love
Venezuela
Ghostbusters.
and all of this? Are you just gonna leave the country? Do you have
I'm more likely to leave if Trump's elected. Yes, that's a very valid password.
Oh my God.
Country if Trump gets elected. What a hollow threat.
I don't understand. What are you gonna do? Go to Israel?
I think that would be amazing. Can you imagine?
The only place I would go is Israel.
Can you imagine if all progressive liberals left the U.S. if Trump won?
Alhamdulillah.
Wouldn't that be amazing, Rafi?
Please, I'm willing to buy tickets.
What is it about Kennedy that makes
I'm willing to buy tickets for the chickens for the KFCs to go fight for Palestine.
what is it about the Kennedy KFC Trump train that upsets you so much, Caleb?
I'm not so upset about Kennedy. I don't think it's gonna make it.
So, are you guys having any plans to get on the election this time again?
Like all the progressive left, they just do a lot of screaming and kicking like children, but they don't go anywhere. They can't afford to go anywhere because they still need that welfare.
Most progressives, they're like rich, liberal elites, or they have a lot of money. A lot of people that have money.
The ones that
Honestly, they're very tough.
the ones that are
If I could just say, don't have money.
Yeah, Rafi, do you know that Kamala has been paying all her supporters?
that's
Yeah, they're all
Listen, at the DNC, over 15 babies were aborted and 10 people died of blood clots from the vax during the DNC, during the 3 days. 25 people actually died at the United Center in Chicago, according to Chicago Fire Department death statistics.
Really true. That's true. That's true. 25 people died?
The ones they killing their own voters.
15 babies were aborted and 10 obese Democrats who should have been at the gym instead of listening to Kamala Communism Kamala.
And 2 transgenders, too.
Whoa.
They all just got unburdened by what has been.
Y'all have a caricature of what Democrats are. It's really crazy.
I went to drinking today.
Alright, well, this has been fun. Have fun with your language. Well, you guys can't even have any sophisticated conversations on this.
Oh my god.
Just sing us a Nigun, Caleb, and call it a day.
Typical liberal. Run away.
I don't understand him, because if he goes to Israel, he's still going to have to face the burden of Trump in Tel Aviv.
Your microphone is terrible.
I know.
And get a new stick. Get a new microphone and get a new stick. It's annoying.
I think you're referring to your fag voice. You need a new shtick, faggot.
Oh my god, the Jews and the niggers are fighting.
Hey. Please, Jews.
Where she
Listen, I'm a big,
miserable right now.
I'm a big fan of your YouTube jealousy, and I got to tell you, Hampton, like you're the shtick. I mean, you're the
Yeah,
one
your
trick pony.
microphone is literally horrible.
They kicked me. I can't stand the mic.
We preserved the human race here. We actually fucking did it, guys. We avoided a nuclear war. We avoided World War III. We avoided human extinction. We together preserved the human race. We saved America. We saved the world. We saved the human race. We preserved the human race. It's that simple. Welcome to the States, cowboy.
What's up? How y'all doing? What y'all talking? What exactly y'all talking?
Saving the world.
All right, word. So I'm guessing y'all Republican here.
I'm an independent mind.
No, sir.
It's not necessarily a Republican who does what the sum total effect of their policies on the people. Yeah, what's the sum total effect of their policies on the people since they've been in politics? That's what it is.
I'm assuming you're voting for Kamala Harris if you're asking us if we're Republican.
No, actually, at the moment, I'm undecided. I'm an independent as well. I'm not voting at the moment. I'm not voting for anybody. But I mean, I probably will vote, but I'm undecided at the moment. I'm just still trying to collect all of the data, all of the necessary things, information that I feel like I need before I say, hey, I'm on board with this person. I see things that I like and I dislike from both sides. I agree with some of the things Trump say. I agree with some of the things Kamala Harris say. And so I'm just trying to figure out what I feel like, one, is going to be the best benefit to my family, because that's how I vote, So I know some people might have a problem with that, but I don't necessarily vote for any other people, but I vote for what's going to directly impact me and my household first. And then, anything else that's extra is extra. But like I said, I vote for my household, and so I'm just trying to determine what's going to be best for me and mine.
Yeah, the middle class candidate, the America hero candidate, the disclosure candidate, the truth-telling candidate, the whistleblower candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., independent candidate, has now created a strategical alliance with Donald Trump the MAGA candidate, the Make America Great Again candidate, the America First candidate, and together they will stop the genocide candidate, the pro spend more money and put us into debt candidate, the candidate.
זה רק למטה.
Yeah, the moderate Republican people on my side of the aisle and libertarians really dislike taxes. And to a certain extent, like I tend to agree, right? If you're going to, in the terms like federal to local taxes, take over 50% of somebody's.
Made it sound awful.
I'll send it to you. I don't have it on. Do you have a TikTok account?
No, hell no. Hell no. No TikTok, no Telegram. One is a Chinese spy app, the other one is a Russian spy app. Fuck them both.
Far, far more, and will always hate the Democrats.
Well, like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, you gotta love your children more than you hate Donald Trump.
There you go. Boom. Right there. Right there all day long.
So if you're not gonna do it for yourself, you're not gonna do it for your country, put your country first, you're gonna put your family first,